So that day I was injured. I was making my way actually up the 101 to do a surf check. Decided, not a lot of good surf today, so I'm gonna go to jujitsu class at noon after checking my calendar, and yeah, that's when the accident occurred.
I cracked 2 vertebrae. I have a severed artery on my left side in the back of my neck. Pretty f***ed up right now, but pretty positive. I don't care. It's gonna be a while before I'm back to normal.
I had it in my mind that I was gonna walk again, but prognosis and everything else, everyone was like, yeah, good luck.
That's amazing.
So that's really what progress from the vector to this.
I was walking independently about 5 months after, 6 months after. So around the 6-month mark, I was walking without forearm crutches or any sort of poles. That's when I started to go try and live my life again. Mount Whitney is the tallest peak in the lower 48. It's 14,505 feet, and it's the highest peak you can go to without any sort of technical skill. So it's one continuous hike.
The idea of Whitney was something that was happening long before the injury. This was something that he wanted to do prior to the accident, and it was the first goal he set.
I trained really hard. I just wanted to prove to myself that I could go do these things that I'd always done. Our original plan was to do the 22-mile main trail. We couldn't get permits, and then that's when the trip really became a sufferfest. What we did was 40 miles round trip. I had never done a 40-mile backpacking trip like that, able-bodied or disabled. So we were kind of going into uncharted territory in that regard.
Jack was very dialed in from the start of the hike. The level of discipline and strength that this guy has, regardless of everything that happened, and that's part of him that stems from his core.
The first day, we started really late in the day, and we didn't get into our camping spot until 9:30 p.m. at night, 10 o'clock-ish. So we were just wiped, and we didn't get to bed till 11 that night. So we woke up the next morning. We did about 5 miles down to Rock Creek. I was in good spirits, but my right leg was not working. It would not lift. I just dragged it for 5 miles. And I remember sitting down and being like, the anxiety sort of hit, and I was like, I know we can do this, but I'm scared and nervous right now. And we're 14 miles into the backcountry. There's no getting out of here in any easy way.
Couple deep breaths. The terrain in this hike varied throughout the entire trip. There's parts where you're on a side of a mountain where there's sand, and there's parts where you're, closing towards the peak, and there's treacherous cliffs with boulders.
The terrain was so bad, and loose rock and big boulders for me are really hard to move on, just because my legs don't lift to a certain height and my ankles don't work and all that sort of thing. So when we were a mile from the summit, you can look up to your right and you see the summit hut and the summit itself, but you realize you still have a mile to go and you have to go around the backside. And so I have multiple affirmations that I would say to myself, but one of them was just stay focused, believe. And then I would just say that over and over in my head and out loud. As we got to the backside of the summit, we kind of paused and everyone went you're making this a reality today. This is 3 years in the making. Yeah, everyone cleared the summit. It was dead silent. There had to be about 40 people up there. And I limped onto that sign and onto that rock and that summit and just I lost it. And it was just like, everyone let me have a moment. It was really beautiful. And then it was just like this big round of applause. Like, I was like, oh, there's no trophies up there. There's no trophies when you're summiting a mountain, but I think that was my trophy, was that round of applause.
I believe 1 out of 3 people make it to the peak, and Jack was one of those people.
Like, I gave 3 years of my life to this project, and come hell or high water, you know, we made it happen.